Hello, everyone. So hope you can hear me well, and I'm so excited that we are starting the fourth round of this program. It's the fourth time that I'm coming here live for you, scheduling calls live, and giving new modules. And the purpose of this call is for you to understand how to navigate this program. Many people feel a bit confused where to start. And I want to speak a bit about this and why this program is my most complex program, comprehensive. And when anyone asks me, where should I start in your school? If I really want a deep transformation, if you can't come to a retreat, there is any other program I advise than this program. This program initially started as a program just on unlocking our sexuality, and of course tantra in the spiritual way, the traditional tantra, neo-tantra. But as I evolved, because I started to give this program in 2021, I evolved a lot as a person. I deepened the teachings. And as we open our sexuality, this is what started as the evolution of my work. We started to open many other gates, many other themes of life. Because the reason why women feel numb, most women, I would say 90% of women never experienced an orgasm, an orgasmic state. And 98% of women have never experienced a deep orgasmic state for hours, never really experienced true aliveness. For women who have ever experienced orgasm, they have experienced just a fast thing. And this was a fascinating around my work, around this path when I started. And this is one of the reasons I became more known for in the beginning of my career. But as I deepen into it, I realized that it's not just about we don't have sensitivity. Many women think that they are broken or they have something to fix and less sensitivity. And the thing is, some women have less sensitivity, but there is no woman with capacity to have this orgasmic state more than the other. Okay? We all are made in the same way. It's just we have grown up without education, and depending in the society we grew up, how the mindset we grew up, the parents we have, the experiences we have, the bad sexual experiences we have, we started to build layers of protection to avoid pain. So basically, the first time I gave this program was actually called The Inner Goddess and then Pain to Pleasure. And this work is really about from pain to pleasure. And when I experience pain, when I mean pain, I don't mean just the pain in the physical body. I mean pain in your heart, the pain in your soul, the pain that you carry, your fears, your trauma, your insecurities, your lack of self-esteem, your lack of safety in life, your lack of security. All that impacts sexuality profoundly. And working on our sexuality is one of the most spiritual paths, because in sexuality is how we can see how attuned we are with our bodies. When we are not attuned with our bodies, most likely we are also not very attuned with life. Especially if you are a woman, you have ever experienced the sixth sense, intuition. You feel it in your body. You feel it there is something somatically magic that happens in your body to feel. So when we dissociate from the body, we also lose these capacities. We lose the capacities to feel, to actually embrace pleasure, to receive, to surrender. And that are actually pillars of magnetism, of feminine magnetism. So as we deepen in this work, we deepen into heartbreaks, relationships, relationship with a father, with a mother. We are working on us at a 360 degrees. So this program, as it started to evolve, it has 3 pillars. The heart, where we start, the descent in the womb healing, and then sacred sexuality. It's actually the journey of a woman. And in the heart is actually the biggest pillar of the program, Alchemy of the Heart. It's where we go through opening heart, because our sexuality, our bodies, you can use all kinds of techniques, de-harming, vibrators. None of these things gonna work. And actually, I'm quite against that until we open our hearts. We first need to de-harm the heart. We first need to heal what makes us so unsafe in the body. What has hurted us? Because when we close the heart, we close everything down there. Have you ever had like willing to have sex when you are profoundly sad and heartbroken? No. But when you are in love, when you are open, when your heart is open, when your heart is blossoming, you want to desire. Desire comes. You are open to pleasure. You want to merge. So this work starts profoundly from the heart. And this is this is the module you have to start into. The heart has many flavors. There are many reasons why we close the heart. We can have abandonment wounds. This is a big topic we speak here, because when we have the abandonment wound, which was one of the biggest themes of my life and one of the biggest themes of Tantrika, this journey of pain and pleasure, this journey of when we feel lonely, we feel unsafe. When we feel that we are left out, we feel we don't belong. When we feel rejected, abandoned because of rejection, our heart breaks into pieces. So there are many reasons that break our hearts. And remember, you cannot open your sexuality without opening your heart, without healing your heart. That's why this is the biggest module. And now we are going to go even deeper into heart de-harming. And there is somatically de-harming, there is energetic de-harming, there is emotional de-harming. There are many layers around the heart. And this is why this program is called Deeper Than Deep. Because we are going to go deeper than I have ever given before. And I'm going to add these new modules, Deeper Than Deep. We are going to go into each modules, the Alchemy of the Heart, then Womb, and then Sacred Sexuality. Some of the classes, most of them are going to be new, but I'm going to review everything, all classes I have ever gave. And some are going to disappear, and some are going to be upgraded. So if you have the seasons before, note that if any class disappears, it's because you're going to upgrade it. Every time I come live, I don't come to see the same things. Every time I came to add new. So every time you join live, if you have done that specific class, if you have done that specific module, know that every time is going to be different and much deeper. And I have to tell you something. This is very interesting. You know that when I started this work and I was very committed, there was 1 year I did 14 retreats. I remember I didn't have any vacation because I was spending all my money, all my savings into personal development. I was full in. I wanted to experience the biggest orgasmic state. I wanted to experience being so open to life. I wanted to be a sex goddess. I wanted to be in all these archetypes. I wanted to experience the juiciness of the feminine. So in that year, it's when actually my work became more known, and I have many people coming for that. Way before I had my fashion brand. And what is very interesting that really happened is I kind of reached those levels very fast, because some souls, and this is the kind of souls that I attract normally in my programs, they're not really beginners, and less they are beginners. And that's why I don't use beginners content, because my work is not for beginners. It's for people who already have a baggage, who have already understand some concepts, and when it goes so deep into the felt sense. And I have no problem on saying very advanced content, giving very advanced content, because I know the people who are arriving here are because you are ready for the next level. So if you are here, know that your soul has chosen it. And when I started this, I kind of reached those levels. I started this work, and I started to remember so many gifts and awaken and activate so many gifts. Imagine, I was so dedicated for these hours and hours every single day that I activated all those gifts very fast in me. So I realized there was a point of my career that I felt, well, I'm so activated. Whatever I'm going to do in life, like, I know I'm never going to lose this energy. I'm never going to lose this orgasmicness. And as I had this realization, and then I entered into this very karmic relationship, very, very karmic relationship that really triggered all of me, all my wounds in another level. That relationship broke my heart, as my heart has never been broken ever before. And this was when I entered in the deepest realms of the soul, in the deepest healing of the heart that took almost 2 years. At the same time, was the same person who activated many gifts in me. The gift of coming back to creating other businesses, other gifts, coming back to creating a clothing line that really represents the feminine as I see it, that activates a woman the way I activate it, the way I feel women should be activated, correcting. How I see clothing, the art of clothing should be. And so, because I have so many other talents around creation, I was exploring that, and I entered into also this business mood, entrepreneurship mood. That entrepreneurship, and I was so also in this devotion as well. Like, even last year, I don't remember to have a Sunday free. Like, a day that, okay, I'm just going to be in the beach doing nothing. I don't remember what is it, because I'm constantly in the creation phase. And I felt I was putting a bit of my practices aside. Actually, last year, I barely gave any calls live, because I was so focused on building the brand and the success that it is right now. And as I was doing that, I was not practicing a lot so much. I was doing, but not with the devotion I used to be, and not with the presence. And I was actually pushing my body sometimes, because when you start a startup in a field that's completely different, that involves a completely different system and structures and third parties, and many of you are going to resonate because not of you are in the coaching industry. You probably have another businesses on, you work on a completely different business, maybe a bit more 3D, or with people that don't work on consciousness, that have no awareness about themselves, and you are exposed to these things every single day. So you need to have a very strong anchor, a very strong practice for you to be able to lead from the feminine, lead with your intuition, be constantly pour and in your cup, feel fulfilled, feel vital without collapsing in burnout. And this was another initiation. And why I'm telling you this story? Because the belief that I had, that I got it, my body is activated forever, I started to actually, my vital force energy and my magnetism started to go like this. I was feeling very magnetic in my business. It's going a success. But my intimate life, this is where I mean my magnetism. Because I was using all my sexual energy, driving it, the drive of it, to drive the business. Because this is one of the reasons why I also coach leaders, entrepreneurs, how can you create more sexual energy in yourself to have more drive, to actually become more magnetic. But I was just doing this. That's why I attracted so many entrepreneurs last year also. I realized that my intimate life was like this. And a few months ago, I realized that my body was not being activated the way that it used to be, with a aliveness, with a juiciness, because of the heartbreak I spoke about, that I was still going through, that deepened me into another level. And this is exactly when the path of the gene keys enter in my life. This is something that I'm going to include in this program. Not teaching the gene keys, but my contemplations and the nectar I got from it, the biggest teachings, the biggest depth. And this is one of the deepest paths out there. So as I was deepening into it, I realized when you don't work on this energy, when you don't work on intimacy, when you stop doing your self-pleasure practices, your body, yes, starts to close. Even if you reach the sex goddess archetype, it can close off tomorrow if you go out of alignment. So this work is not something that you just do once. It's something that you have to do for life. Because there is the healing journey, transformational, and there is the maintenance journey. It's like a car. You constantly have to put the full. Constantly. You cannot just put once and expect it's going to last forever. You have to keep putting the full all the time. Here is the same thing. Although you reach incredible insights, incredible transformations, you need to keep doing the practices. It's like going to the gym. You have to keep doing if your body wants to keep vital. You can have all the awareness. This is exactly what happens with spirituality of the upper chakras. You can have all the awareness, You can connect with other dimensions. You can become aware of your wounds, all of that. But then there is the energetic part. You can alchemize it in your consciousness. You can become aware. You can know that it is there and still choose to not alchemize it energetically. You can still choose to not multiply the vitality of your body. Because it's like a power bank. You need to feel it. And as I started to go deep into that, and I realized also that the practices I used to teach were not working for me anymore. That was a big one. Most of the practices that I used to teach were not working for me because I opened in another level. I deepen. And when you go deeper, you need a new level of practice that actually meets the depth where you are. If you have cracked your heart open and you are so deep, because when your heart is broken, actually is a blessing. The beginning is painful, but as you start opening, as you start like healing it and putting all the pieces together, you will basically go on in life with a heart that is much more intense. And which this, I mean, is a heart that feels much more. So the pain you feel in the pain, okay, that level of pain that you had in the heartbreak, that sensibility is gonna be there. And the purpose of the pain is to open your heart. It's to open your sensitivity. So women who have gone through incredible heartbreaks, when they heal them, they also feel much, much more love. They can feel the emotions with much more intensity. Some people choose to just be in the neutral state, which is good. You never suffer too much, but you never really experienced orgasmicness. Like in the daily life, this intensity, like next level, like levels of joy, of pleasure, of orgasmic aliveness, of eroticism, these emotions, these feelings that are so intense that makes us alive, they don't feel it. So when you go through healing your heart, what you're going to do is to alchemize the pain, but the sensitivity is there. And why you need the sensitivity? To connect emotionally and bond deeply with another soul. And when it happens, this is when intimacy takes another level. Because the greatest sex happens when there is intimacy, when there is a sacred union of two people. It doesn't have to be they are married, okay? It doesn't have to have a label. But both of these two people need to meet in love, in devotion, in wanting to bond at the soul level. I have had this in open relationships. They had other relationships, but when he was with me, I'm not saying that I'm suggesting open relationships. I'm not made for that, but I'm just saying I had an example of that. And when the person was with me, when my lover was with me, I felt so loved, so loved. So I'm also quite detached from labels, but what I require is depth. When the person who is with me in full depth. And this, with all the emotions, with all the light, with all the darkness. And this is exactly what makes sex great. It's not techniques, it's your capacity to be present, to breathe, together to feel each other. And women open this portal from the heart. So the more activated, the more sensitive, the more sensibility you have, the more you can hold deep feelings, deep emotions, the more intense will be your intimacy and sexuality. So this heartbreak I was speaking about was what made me so deep, was what made me start writing poetry and love letters that are on another level. And I'm going to do some activations with those letters because they are activations. I started to have a sensitivity for art, for all things feminine, even for the clothes I create, because my heart is so sensitive to what the feminine really feels. So this is why we start also from the heart. The heart is a portal for everything. Then we have the womb that descends into the womb. And the womb is where we are going to go into our deepest trauma. Normally in the womb is the portal of creation. People who have imbalances in the womb also have a hard time on being grounded, on birthing anything, any kind of project. Have you seen also, for example, many women who have 1,000 ideas but they never came to life? It's because there is a disruptive field in the field. The line between the connection between earth and heaven, our groundness into this world is kind of broken. There is not a full link. So the ideas don't come from the astral plane to the ground. So when we work on the womb, we are going to work with things like ancestral healing. We are going to open wounds for the collective, wounds that you carry around. I have discovered, for example, miscarriages in my womb from past lives, from ancestors. I have started to heal wounds around sexual abuse that I had from my family. So I inherited, I didn't experience it, but I inherited all the wounds from the feminine before you are in your womb. So here is another level that comes up. And this is a work that takes time. It's not the work that you say, I'm going to do all this course in 1 week. I mean, it's quite impossible because there's so much content, but I will take 2 weeks and I'm going to do everything. It's not going to work. Because this is a work that opens slowly. It opens with contemplation. Like my path with the gene keys. You cannot really understand 4 keys in the same day. Like even if I tried to read the book, it doesn't work. When the teaching is so deep, you need to integrate and allow yourselves to integrate it slowly, to absorb the information slowly. And here, the more you go slow, the more we'll be able to feel and have more insights, more integration. So this work is normally a work of almost 6 months journey, where you go very deep in yourself, very deep. And then we have sacred sexuality, where when our hearts are healed, when your wombs are healed, then we start to work with our sexuality. Because until these first 2, your vagina, your yoni, is not going to open in full. You're going to do all the deharmoning techniques. This is what was happening to me in the beginning. We were going straight in some courses with some teachers straight there, and it was not going to work, because there is a whole work deeper that has to be done before. So normally we go into that very, very in the end of the program. And before, when you already are able to feel an orgasm without even touching yourself, this is the stage I have been exploring during the last year, where I'm able to have an orgasm with the breath, without even touching there, because you should only touch yourself when your vagina calls you. And you know when she's calling you. She's fully open and wet. And until there, we should never be touched. And so the whole work actually is to activate all of you in such a deep level before the deep deharmoning process there. The slower you go in this program, and many practices are going to disappear in this program because they're being upgraded for deep, slower ones. The slower you go, the deeper you get. So in this new season, we are going to go. By the way, my painting, Yoni, is a Yoni, and the Isis. We're going to have calls weekly. I want you to experience the art of slowness, to find depth. And I'm going to tell you the deepest sensation, and the ones who stay are when you are able to feel in depth. When you do it so slowly, you will start to discover places, sensations, emotions, and insights that you have never felt before. And I'm going to tell you, it never ends. It's infinite. The more you do, the more wisdom you gain, the more insights you have, the more gifts you open, and it does not end. So here it is, and welcome to all ones starting out this journey, and I see you next class.